Hello, namaste. This is Timothy Halloran. The date is June 29th, 2016, and we are going to play a fun game called Can I Finish This Video Before It Starts to Downpour? Because appropriately, things are about to get wet around here. After several weeks of dry spell and it just being like real hot summer solstice, watering the plants 5 times a day, well, things are about to get wet. And when we're talking about water in astrology, we're talking about feelings, we're talking about emotional processing. So the moon, our moon, which is our emotional core, which is our processor of feelings, she just moved into Taurus earlier today. She will move into Gemini on Friday, July 1st. And then she moves into Cancer on Sunday before we have our new moon, Monday, July 4th, 7 a.m. Eastern Time at 12 degrees, 54 minutes of Cancer. So, fortunately, Mercury has just moved into Cancer. We've got now the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer after this past month of June, which was a very intense, stressful, fast-paced month. And I don't know, show of hands, how many of you had a mental breakdown in the last month? All right, I can't see you, so I'm just one that I can tell. I've had several mental breakdowns in the last couple weeks. It's just been an amazingly overwhelming time. There's been so much stuff going on. And, you know, we've still got Saturn squared to Neptune. This is going on now, and for the next couple weeks, you know, this is crisis of faith. Crisis of our belief system, crisis of our perspective. So the last month has been wheels going so fast, so much processing. The world is demanding more and more unexpected surprises. You know, everything gets revealed, everything gets shown to everybody, even the stuff we don't want to see, even the stuff that we don't want to have shown. It's all aired out. You know, everything is exposed, everything's laid out on the table throughout these last several weeks, and it has not been terribly comfortable. And so I think it's rather appropriate that we have everything now moving into Cancer, because what follows a mental breakdown? What is a mental breakdown, okay? A mental breakdown is Gemini. Gemini is just bipolar, back and forth, left and right, black and white, good or bad. Am I a good person? Am I a bad person? Am I making the right choice? Am I not making the right choice? And there's all of this uncertainty. There's not really knowing if we're doing things right or wrong, you know. And so a mental breakdown is just too much. I can't handle being me anymore. I don't get any security from my self-identity, from my beliefs, from my philosophy, etc. It's all these gears and wheels churning and churning and churning in our head, and then what happens if it gets too much, the wheels go too fast, stuff heats up, and we have a breakdown. Okay. And what follows the breakdown? What follows the crisis? What follows the worldwide global paranoia? This is what we talked about last week, is global paranoia. Is that this crumbling of away of that identity breaks down, these belief systems break down. We can't keep watching the news. We can't keep doing the things the way we've done them before, which was just very mentally focused. We live in a very mental focused, ideal-based, image-based, success looks like this, your standards look like this is what a healthy relationship looks like, this is what a healthy religious practice looks like, etc. And it's all getting stripped away. Yeah, this is what we've been talking about, is this year of 2016, it's not the easiest year, particularly for those of us who are typically, you know, spiritual one-liner type of people, you know. The type of people that somebody asks you a question, oh, how you doing today, you know? And instead of just being just like, oh, you know, we give them a spiritual one-liner. Ah, yes, wherever you go, there you are, you know, some Tao Te Ching, you know, Zen quote or something like that. And it's like we don't have these spiritual one-liners right now, you know. People don't, you know, it's like, what are you doing, you know? And it kind of rolls back now. It rolls back to actual reality. You know, I'm eating breakfast, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm walking the dog, because we can't get overly swept away by the grandiose, as everything is forcing us into the immediate And everything is forcing us back in on ourselves. And this is Cancer time. Cancer time is about inward reflection. Yeah, it's about emotional processing. And here comes the rain. And so, we are entering this period now, which is essentially about self-care. What immediately follows the mental breakdown is self-care. You've taken on too much. You've been trying to do too much. The image that you've given to yourself is too much. And we have forgotten and we've overlooked what's going on inside. And there's been so much that's been going on, so much to process. It is now time for us to slow down, and things are slowing down. And we close the doors, and we get comfortable wherever we are. And we go inside of ourselves in order to feel. And this is what we need right now. We need this water. We need the feelings. We need the feelings because the feelings are what's telling us what's up better than anything else. Better than anything else. So it's really nice that we have these 3 inner planets in Cancer now because they're all making trines to Neptune. So Venus trine to Neptune on June 27th. July 3rd, the Sun comes into a trine to Neptune. Yeah, July 4th is our new moon trine to Neptune. The next day, I believe it's the 5th, we have Mercury trine to Neptune. So anyways, there is this opening of possibilities, and we're still dreaming the dreams. We're trying to achieve our goals as we do this adjustment. This is an adjustment period. As these planets are trine to Neptune, they are also in conjunct or quincunx to Saturn. And so this is a reprioritization that is taking place. The priority is now ourselves. Everything is kind of being stripped apart and being broken, and now it's time for us to caretake. This is about learning how to be broken. This is about learning how to be human. And learning how to be broken, learning how to be human. This is North Node in Virgo. This is about accepting our imperfections. This is about accepting our human role. This is what leads us into learning how to love. Learning how to be broken is the same as learning how to love. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is the divine mother. She is the principle of nurturance and compassion. This is the needed medicine in the world at this time, more than any other medicine. How do we actually take care of ourselves when we feel broken, when the world is broken, when everything is so overly complicated? And it has a lot to do with being guided by our feelings. Where do we take things after your mental breakdown? After everything falls apart? The old job, the old dynamic, where do we go from here? Once you've lost everything, you've lost your role, you've lost your job, you've lost your position, you've lost your established place in society, in your family, in your own world. This is Saturn square Neptune. It is a crisis of faith. It is a crisis of how we see ourselves. And we must be guided by our feelings. When we have a crisis of faith, who is God? What book do I read now? What religion do I practice now? This is all outward, mental, up here stuff. And what we must do is we must be guided by our feelings. This is the only way that we will achieve true security in this day and age. And this is the actual way to manifest our future. So many people ask, how do I manifest my future? How do I get what I want? Begin with feelings. How are you going to feel in the future? How would you like to feel in your future job, in your future position, in your future placement? What feelings are guiding us into a place that feels comfortable to us? And we need to create space for ourselves in order to tap into our feelings. We do have to have an environment that fosters this type of reflection. And this is what Cancer is. Cancer is inward self-reflection. It's looking into the past. And it's fundamentally understanding who we as individuals are. And learning how to be the simultaneous parent and child. Okay. So, this new moon, it's going to be opposite to Pluto. Sun comes opposite to Pluto on July 7th. Okay. Venus is square to Uranus on July 7th. So there is this more critical, something has to change. I'm not feeling secure in my current situation. I'm not feeling secure in my current environment. I'm not feeling my inward emotional needs are being met, and stuff does need to change. Pluto is transiting Capricorn. This is about fundamentally changing the outer structures. Government, job, physical security, school, traditions, all of this stuff. And we have to change these physical areas in order to get this real deeper type of security. We need to hold space for ourselves. We need to give ourselves the safety, the right safe passage through it all. And this is readjusting the inner and the outer. We are all raised in a society that does not teach us how to take care of ourselves or others. Our society is all about what you achieve, what you're building for yourself, the success that you have to show, for your image, for your name. This is all building up the outer world. And guess what? All of this built up outer world, what is this right now? It's bullshit. It's fake. It's not giving us real security. That's why it's all having to fall apart. And so having Sun opposite to Pluto, this is bringing up the father, mother, inner, outer security polarity that is the Capricorn-Cancer polarity. Saturn is our outer structure. We want to feel safe in the world. We want to have money in the bank, food in the pantry in order to survive. And this is pretty much what covers our success by societal measure. If you're able to survive and provide for yourself, good job, pat yourself on the back. And yet the other whole side of achieving real security is feeling safe in myself. Feeling safe in myself no matter what I'm doing on the outside. Feeling safe in myself no matter what I'm feeling on the inside. It's about giving ourselves permission to have that safe space, to be able to digest the overwhelming amount of stuff that's been crammed down our throats. And so there are recommendations for this. First of all, we need to find people who reciprocate this type of safe space. We can no longer be hanging around people that are only reinforcing the outside and not really giving any credit to who we truly are on the inside, how we feel, what we would like to do. This is the moon. The moon is our ego. It's how we actually relate to ourselves. It's what's familiar to us. It's what we've mastered, and so we identify with it. Our emotional core is our ego. It's not something we need to kill off. It's something we need to get in touch with. And so again, this is the relationship between the mother, father, the parent, and the child. We have to be functioning in the world even as we are having to create space for ourselves in order to process and dissect. And this is the challenge of this time. Is having all these trines to Neptune is opening up this inner world. Dream the dream of how we would like to feel in the future. How would we like our family to feel? How would we like our relationships to feel? How would we like our immediate environment to feel? Because we're all in the water right now. We're feeling everything that's around us. What would we like that to be like? Would we like it to be treading water in a fluid way? You know, or are we just trying to like do jagged movements? Probably not. So we want to get into this fluid and comfortable time for ourselves, space for ourselves, time by yourself, meditation time. And there's healthy ways to do Cancer and there's unhealthy ways to do Cancer. Because our culture and society doesn't teach us how to do this, it's very easy to jump into the unhealthy ways. And the unhealthy ways can be family. It can be that I'm so emotionally involved with others that I have to follow the expectations, the obligations, and the traditions of what family means. In which case we can oftentimes put ourselves last, take a back seat, and end up not successfully caretaking for ourselves. Not successfully granting safe passage, okay? Another one is sex. I feel all this stuff. I feel all this overwhelming stress, so I want to feel something better. I want to feel mergence with another person. I want to feel bliss. I want to feel ecstasy. And this is another distraction from feeling what's actually going on inside of us. And then there's, of course, creature comforts, food. I'm just going to watch TV and eat food instead of processing the feelings because it makes these feelings, you know, it's sweep it under, sweep it under, sweep it under. We need to give ourselves actual tools and mechanisms in order to dive into these feelings and process them. Because what happens as a result of this is we feel really lightweight. We start to actually clear ourselves out. We start to actually feel comfortable in ourselves as we are, and then that gives us the juice and the energy to go out there in the world and do everything that the world is still simultaneously demanding us to do. And it's not easy, it is complicated, okay? You know, towards the end of July, or even before then, you know, on July 7th, we got asteroid Juno moving back into Scorpio. And then towards the end of the month, there's going to be an asteroid Ceres-Juno opposition. And this is how do we create family, how do we nurture ourselves, and how do we simultaneously merge this with our relationships? How do we have a safe space in ourselves where we can process, and simultaneously we can meet other people in a deep, meaningful way? And it's not easy. We may be pulled between other people, the demands of the world, and our own needs, our own time for reflection. So what do we need? We need safe spaces. We need good people in our lives. What family means is not the blood lineage family crest that society tells us family is. That's not necessarily family. Family are the deep, intimate soul bonds that we form with other humans that are like our brothers and sisters because they get us deeply and inwardly. And we may be offering ourselves as the caretaker to others, and we may be those who are in need of caretaking ourselves. And it is important for us to go in the direction that is needed, to respond to other people's pleas for help, and to plea for help ourselves. It's very important that we do both of these, and chances are we are doing both of these. We've got our ground covered in different areas, each and every one of us, these unique human beings. So each and every one of us needs help in different areas. And so this is the opportunity for us to find that soul family. Find those people who really listen and really care, and create this type of environment where we can self-reflect, where we can digest our emotions, and where we can sort of sweep this off our plates. Yeah? Unfortunately, we have Mars stationing right now. He's going to go direct tomorrow, June 28th. And here is this nice extra boost of energy. Now is the time. If there was ever a time to end your prior old habits that are ready to go, old addictions that are ready to go, old mindsets that are ready to go, taking on too much, not doing enough, now is the time to let that stuff go. Shit has been crumbling, degrading, urban decay, and now we can push through it. Just push through it as if it's a sheet of paper. Just go for it. Be healthy. Be safe. Be kind. Focus on what's important to you in your core. The Sabian symbol for this new moon, if I can still read it on this sopping wet pad of paper, is a hand with a prominent thumb held out respectfully. I'm not totally sure what that means, but fortunately Dane Rudyard clarifies. This is about creating strong, self-certain will. Persistent yet blind plunging into reality. Persistent yet blind plunging into reality. Hello, this is where we are. All of this stuff, my beliefs, my identity, my truth, my understanding, it's bye-bye, okay? And this is the point. Let's have a hypothetical situation. The video of this demographic is, you know, for people who practice spiritually, who are into astrology, who are into meditation. Let's say that all of these philosophies, all of these religions, I believe there's a John Lennon song about this, there's no heaven, there's no savior, there's no anything. What does this leave us with? Who do we have to take care of now? It's ourselves, it's our immediate associations, it's our family. This is what takes real priority here on Earth as human beings. This is what it's really all about. So there is opportunity for us to shift our priorities in a way where we are no longer being distracted by the outer stimuli that's all bullshit. It's all crumbling away. And now we get to go inside and learn how to take care of ourselves, which is the most needed thing in this day and age because nobody knows how to do it. And lo and behold, we blame other people, we scapegoat the enemies. Oh, this is the reason the world is bad, this is the reason I'm so miserable. The reasons we're so miserable is we don't know how to love or take care of ourselves yet. It's like we might be this meditator, this spiritual healer, this astrologer, whatever, I empathize. And then we look on the inside and we're like this black tar of shit. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, let me meditate to get away from this. Let me practice my spirituality to get away from this. Let me do compassionate service to get away from this. And we have to get into this. We have to start with ourselves. We have to start forgiving ourselves. We have to start loving ourselves. And then we can start giving it to other people. We can't be the most hospitable person in the entire world. Oh, come over to my house. Can I get you any hors d'oeuvres? Can I get you anything to drink while we haven't eaten for 4 days? It's not possible. So take care of yourself first. I'm really gonna wrap up stuff here because I'm afraid my camera's gonna blow up. So I'm wishing all the best for you, and you know, we'll probably talk later. More to come. I need to take care of myself right now because this is ridiculous. Much love. Namaste.